Okay, I'm here with my buddy. This is Piper, and we have also our little buddy Tweezer. Tweezer's not going to really participate in this video, but he's going to probably try to linger and get some treats. Piper does not like being touched. Oh, that was very good. She won't take treats from hand. She's taken a treat from my hand a couple times, but she was probably struck, or it's possible somebody just was reached out and grabbed her, or whatever it was. It created a scary response. And a lot of times we think automatically a dog was abused, but it could have been just somebody who's reaching, the animal control is reaching for her at it during a fear period. So what we're going to do is I'm going to see if I can use a little counter conditioning to help her feel more relaxed about having a hand approach her. So if I go like this, well, now you're actually touching my hand. So a lot of time, and I've been doing some work with her, which is a residual. But if most of the time when people reach for her, she kind of recoils, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to basically just reach for her a little bit and say yes and drop a treat. Yes is her marker word. Yes, and drop a treat. Now, I'm kind of going to morph this a little bit. Yes, with a little shaping. Yes. So she doesn't like touching hands. Yes. Now, shaping is basically where we're, started out, I was going to do counter conditioning, I'm doing shaping. So I'm asking her for just a little criteria, just to lean towards me. And eventually, somebody's getting, yes. And when she leans towards me, I say yes. So she doesn't have to touch me at first. So she didn't. And I'm also luring her. I shouldn't have the treat, hold out the treat until she does the action. That's a little guarding. Yes. So she touched my hand. Yes. So you see that dart, she didn't touch my hand that time, but she's figuring out he wants me to move my hand, and I'm saying yes. Yes is a marker word. We use that the instant the dog does the thing we want, unless the thing we want has duration. So when she leans forward, I'm saying yes, and then I'm dropping the treat. Yes. I'm trying to drop it away so she doesn't have to move away. That was not as much criteria as I'd like. I'm holding the treat in a place where she can see it. Should we switch hands? Yes. Yes. Oh, she touched it. That was a good one. Now I'm holding my hand intentionally. Yes. Upside down. When animals are going to attack another animal, they're going to see the bottom of the paw as the claw comes. So for some dogs like her, the bottom of the paw or the top of the hand is going to be a little easier. I ruined it. You saw right there. I was holding the treat. Yes. So for shaping, we're going at the dog's pace. And if she sits, that's an indication she's comfortable. Her tail has been tucked a lot. Can you see her tail in that shot? Now her tail's off to the side. I've done this a whole bunch of times. She kind of knows what we're doing. And just like us, if we know what we're doing, we feel confident about it. That was a little one. I am holding the treat too high, aren't I? Yes. And you're kind of influencing the experiment, Tweezer. That's okay. But when he's there, now it can be helpful at times because it motivates her. I better get it before he comes and does it. But it could also, I don't want her to practice guarding. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, a lick. Now, sometimes if a dog does a lick or something like that, you might give a couple treats. Actually, I should pay that. You did give me some criteria. So when you're doing shaping, all I want to do is just hold out your hand a little bit. She looks at it, you give her a treat. That might be the first stage. And after a while, she starts looking at it quicker and quicker. Then you might hold your hand out and you want a little bit of a lean towards it. And then you say your marker word and then drop the treat. Eventually, then you want her to lean further, and eventually you want her to touch it. Tweezer's like, I'm going to get the treat. Tweezer's like, I'm going to get the treats that are on the cut up on the table. Yes. Come. Now, I keep on forgetting that she doesn't want to take treats from my hand. Yes. And so I need to keep on dropping them. But eventually, you should be able to work up. Yes. Now, she's licking each time. Now, if you notice, when I first started doing it, I was going like this. Then I'm going like this. Now I'm going like this. I want to eventually get to the point where I can get to that, because that's what most of us do when we're offering a dog. And again, I ruined it because I held the treat out here. Yes. And she's licking. So this is shaping. So this is an exercise I'd like you guys, that's all right, buddy. You did a good job. I'll give you a treat too. Basically, this is an exercise I'd like you to do in like 1 to 2 minute practice sessions. And you might want to have, maybe he's out on a walk, or you're doing the find it game that we went over there, and practice in different parts of your apartment. Dogs don't generalize well. We need to practice with a lot of variety. But eventually you get to the point where when you hold your hand out, she's going to lean towards it or will touch it, because we're not going past that. And the important part about this, and we'll go over this real quick, cutoff signal. So watch her head. See how she lowered her head? That's a way of saying, I don't like that interaction. That was also, I don't like you approaching. That was a different, not quite a cutoff signal, that was a back off. But dogs offer cutoff signals. Usually they'll lower their head, they'll turn their head, they'll back away, they might freeze. She freezes a lot. The ears might flip way back. His ears are nice right now. They're off to the side. When he feels amicable, his are to the side. When he's more nervous, they're kind of coming forward. Sometimes they'll roll over and show you their belly. That's being submissive. Don't touch your dog. Now, if you're petting me and I'm like, oh man, this feels really good. Why don't you go ahead and get the I know I moved it, didn't I, buddy? I'm sorry, buddy. It's okay. But if I like gradually roll over, that could be just saying I'm comfortable. But if I am, there you go. But if I instantly flip over, that might be more submissive. The dog could also move away from you or refuse to come to you, look at you with a lot of what we call whale eye, the white of their eye. And when that happens, those are cutoff signals. And so I'll let you just nibble on this one. And so if the dog gives you a cutoff signal and you immediately stop trying to pet them, that makes them feel more comfortable. If you see him real quick, see his back legs. I call that stealing second. So, and you see that twitch. He's got cortisol in his blood. And so when you see that lean, then he's saying, I'm not fully comfortable. Normally a dog's going to have their feet underneath. She's got a little bit of a lean there as well. So, and also her tail's a little tucked. His tail's going out a little bit, so he feels, and he's lingering. Now I'm using really high value treats, and so that's kind of spoiling the experiment a little bit. But I wanted to go over a little bit about body language and cutoff signals. So just like us, if I give somebody a signal that I'm uncomfortable when they hug me each time, hopefully they learn and they stop hugging me. As a human, I can say I don't want you to hug me, but for dogs, it's harder for them to do that. So they offer these more subtle cutoff signals. And yes, and when he's around, she definitely seems to be a little bit more, I would say braver, but willing to touch a little bit more, because I think she's like, I'm going to get that treat before my buddy can. And so this is an activity that hopefully over time will allow her to feel, and see that tail tuck right there? Now the tail's wrapped around, also a little bit more uncomfortable. So that's okay, buddy. And so the idea is eventually we get to the point where for her, reaching for her is going to be something that she looks at as a positive, and she doesn't mind it. Now, when I'm moving towards her, if you see my hand movement, yes, I'm using very fluid body movements. I'm not reaching my hand like that. That would startle her. And so instead, when I move my hand, yeah, I kind of have it here, don't I? And that's too hard. So I make it easier with the side. There we go. Yeah, and I should have said yes. So again, start off here. You might even curl your fingers in, then eventually go full finger, then turn it, and then gradually you're going to go like that. But just like us, we don't always go in a linear movement forward. So if she has a bad day and backs up and you have to go, you're here and now you got to go back to here, that's okay. Practice in short 2 to 3 minute practice sessions, practice often, and eventually I would have you practice this at first. She's more comfortable with females than male. She's comfortable with her male. But eventually, when you have guests come over, yes, and you guys don't even know. You don't even know one of your neighbors is walking by. Oh, you just saw that, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Find it. There we go.
Yes.
And so eventually, you could have you do this a couple times, and then have your neighbor do that, or your visitor. And that way she starts getting used to strangers doing that. Now, when people want to pet your dogs, I always tell people, hold your hand up like this. And that lean towards it is her way of saying you have engagement. This will help make that a little bit more pronounced. Well, this is my buddy Piper. And these are some tips you can use to help a dog start feeling comfortable about hands approaching them.